Hey everybody, welcome back to Spoiler Free Wrestling. I'm your host, the I Guy, and we are talking about news coming out of WWE from last night's Survivor Series. Now, one of the stories that WWE is running with from Survivor Series this year is that Team Raw swept Team SmackDown 6-0. Only people who watch the pre-show are pretty sure that Team SmackDown beat Team Raw in the 5-on-5 tag team Survivor Series traditional match last night. Now, New Day's Xavier Woods has had something to say about this snub. But before we get to that, I just want to mention, if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button to make sure you're not missing out on any news or reports from Spoiler Free Wrestling. Okay, so last night, WWE decided not to include the tag team versus tag team Raw versus SmackDown Survivor Series match when they were keeping score between Raw and SmackDown during the main pay-per-view. On the main pay-per-view, Team Raw beat Team SmackDown 6-0. However, Team SmackDown won the pre-show match, which was the tag teams. Xavier Woods wasn't too happy with his match being snubbed from the official Raw versus SmackDown score last night. So after the event ended, he took to Twitter and he put this out. And I don't know what this is, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it thing, but that's something a lot of people are putting on Twitter for some reason. I don't know. So he does the don't do it thing, and then he says, in all caps, by the way, hey, WWE, respect the tag divisions of both shows and let the people know that SmackDown got a win tonight. The score was 6-1. Hashtag pre-show counts. And this is a little bit of a... I mean, it's not too risky. It's not like Xavier Woods is going to get fired. I think they're fairly happy with how much merchandise New Day sells. But I went through the Twitter timelines of every other person in that match, and Xavier Woods is the only person to mention it. The Usos retweeted it. But if you see like Scott Dawson, like the Revival didn't put anything out about it. And the Revival, by the way, were the last team remaining for Team Raw. Now, I went out of my way to watch this match. I don't normally watch the pre-show, and there are WWE matches that I'll skip over because I just don't care about anything happening in that match. But I always make sure to stop and watch the people who I'm interested in seeing. I really like the Usos, and I really like the Revival. So I was going to watch this match. And it was a great match because it came down to the Revival versus the Usos. And the Usos got the win. And that should put the Usos in line for a tag team championship match coming up soon, seeing as they also just beat the New Day to become the captains of their SmackDown team. So is Xavier Woods taking a big risk by putting a tweet like this out there? In a sense, he is a little bit, because he's coming out and he's saying, hey, that story you were told on the pay-per-view last night, that's not what actually happened. And I think it is significant that only one person in the tag match put something out there. And I think, now this is speculation, but if you're the guys in that tag team match and you're talking in the locker room afterwards and you're seeing on the show that your match is being treated like it didn't even happen, I think probably one person in that group said, you know what? I don't want anybody else to take heat for this. I know my position in the company. I'll make a statement about it. And that's what he did. So where will the tag team division go from here? I mean, there are a lot of great tag teams in WWE. I just mentioned the Usos are one of the greatest tag teams in WWE history and do not get... they get the respect they deserve in terms of people understand that they're really good at what they do. But because they've always been in the tag team division and WWE is hesitant to do things like put tag team titles in main events and things like that. Whereas outside of WWE, you do have people like the Young Bucks, the Hardys. Well, I guess the Hardys are in WWE. But tag team wrestling has main evented before. The Road Warriors were main eventers. The Rock and Roll Express was main eventers. Um, the Usos haven't been given the chance to really shine at a top tier level because their division has never been top tier in WWE while they have been there. And never before has WWE insulted the division in the way that they did last night. Like being on the pre-show is one thing, but to pretend on the main show that the pre-show didn't happen, I think is a pretty big insult to the tag team divisions, especially considering the talent that are in there. Xavier Woods, the only person to speak up about it, and I imagine that was most likely by design. There is some other news coming out of Survivor Series last night. We are going to put out a few more videos, so make sure that you hit the subscribe button or you have done so already so you don't miss out. Thanks a lot, everybody. I'm the Guy from Spoiler Free Wrestling.